Greetings everyone, and welcome to another cheapo phone review, or perhaps it could be another installment in the Attack of the Clone series, because it's kind of a clone of the Oppo N1, but it's kind of not a clone of the Oppo N1. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. Let's just roll along with it as a cheapo phone review. Hello everyone. Let's take another look at a cheapo smartphone from 9 years ago, which, that's 2015, 9 years ago. Mind-blowing. What I'm going to be showing you all is a phone from a company called TORQUE. I have never heard of TORQUE before until I found this TORQUE branded device at my fantastic local ewaste outlet. It seems like just a generic phone, but it's got that one feature that makes it like the Oppo N1, and that the camera module, like some earlier flip phones from back in the day that had the Flippy Camera, much like this Samsung here. The camera can swap from the front to the back, just like that. Nice and easy. So you can do selfies with the main camera, which would be the best resolution camera of the phone. This is also a China Mobile one as well. I don't recall if this makes the boot up sound or not. Yeah, that's the gimmick with this thing. But apart from that though, as I said, it is just like a standard generic Android phone. Let's see what it can do. I honestly probably won't be here for too long because there's not a whole lot to show on this thing, but let me do my usual rambly, chill review of this thing, and we'll see if it's worth the $10 I paid for it, or if it's another thing I can add to the collection of useless junk that I have, which is probably going to be the case. If you don't want to stick around for rambling, feel free to use the timestamps in the description, as well as the pin. Oh, I accidentally hit another box. Oh, don't worry, this box is going to come into play very soon. Yeah, feel free to use the timestamps to skip along if you want, because this is quite unhinged. Let's start with TORQUE itself. TORQUE is, accordingly, a Filipino company. They've been making products for quite a long time, and honestly, there's not a whole lot of information about the company. In regards to the phone itself, only 2 people have done a video on this. One's just a hands-on experience with it at a trade show, and the other one is just a review that goes for 14 seconds. A 14-second review. There you go. When I think of the name TORQUE, I think of something fast and speedy and all that sort of stuff. Their logo is a motorbike helmet with the T in it, you know, because it looks like a visor or something. That's their logo. It kind of looks cool. I don't know, just naming something TORQUE, I just imagine something really cool and innovative. We've got some images here of the advertising for the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL, which is what we're going to be taking a look at today. And they're saying that it's the 2015 trendsetter. The Oppo N1 came out in 2013, and Oppo did make another one called the N3 that had another flippy camera. So to say that this was a trendsetter of 2015, well, only really a handful of phones done the whole flippy camera thing. It wasn't until much later where we came to the proper motorized pop-up cameras and stuff, where we had the cameras going way out of the phone, and then we have the Samsung A80, which that pops up and then that flips around, and then you can flip that around if you want, and then you've also got the Zen phones that also do the flippy thing as well. But the Droid Swivel has a manual one. You just flip it to wherever you want it, whenever you want it. I guess marketing is marketing at the end of the day, and they had to try something to have it appeal to an audience. But as far as I know, this only sold in the Philippines and nowhere else. So folks may have to tell me if you've recognized TORQUE beforehand, if you know it from somewhere else, but as far as I know from my research, it was only available in the Philippines, and the DROIDZ Swivel was available for 4,599 Filipino pesos, which is about $125 Australian nowadays, which honestly, that's not a whole lot of money for a phone back in 2015. But the specs of this thing aren't really anything too spectacular. I'll display these specs on screen, and what you're seeing is nothing special. A 4.7-inch quarter HD, not quad HD, IPS display, 540 by 960, 1.2 gigahertz quad-core processor. It's probably MediaTek. I don't think it's the MT6580, but I think it's close to that though. 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigs of internal storage, expandable via a micro SD card, the 8 megapixel rear camera with the LED flash rotating up to 180 degrees, 3G and 2G on this thing. Can't really expect much for a budget phone. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, Android 4.4 KitKat. We're looking at an Android version that's almost 11 versions behind, but that's okay. And a 1700 mAh battery. Sorry, one thing that I completely forgot about is TORQUE's official website, which is still up, and this is what it looks like. Creativity in motion. Got some folks there going, yay! They're holding iPhone XS's, aren't they? Or iPhone Xs, or iPhone XS Maxes. About us, TORQUE prides itself as the Philippines' fastest growing 3C, yeah, so it's definitely a Filipino company. Its goal is to bridge the continually changing and evolving technology to the country and be able to provide options to improve our way of life. And they offer the 3Cs communications, computing, and consumer electronics. But yeah, they sell e-cigarettes, heat not burn devices, and you got Smoke and Susan over there, showcasing how wonderful the TORQUE e-cigarettes are. Then you got Joking Jessica over here with the mobiles, which shows some phones from 2014. That's a rip-off of a Huawei device, I believe, but that's feature phones and smartphones, and that doesn't actually go anywhere. You can't click that. They do have a Shopee store, which that's where they sell their products. They don't actually have any retail settings as far as I know. They used to have retail stuff. Finally, in tablets, we just have boring Betty sitting over there with a device in her hands, just looking at it like she really doesn't want to be there at that point in time, just staring into the device, going, what have I done with my life? Why did I let them pay me $50 to do this photo shoot with this shitty device? Why am I even here? And their Android tablets are all running KitKat by the looks of it. And Space. Once again, you can't click that. It won't take you to anywhere. Well, they have music videos. Talk mobile giveaways on Deal or No Deal. So they actually were something over in the Philippines. Amazing. Before we look at the Droid Swivel, I looked at this thing many years ago. This is the TIMMY M9. Is it the Pro version or is it just the normal version? I'm not too sure. It's just M9. The video that I published years ago for this is absolutely garbage. Don't watch it because it's horrible. If you would like me to review this one again, I'm more than happy to, because this was the first phone that I came across that had a Flippy camera like so, and I never tore this down, never taken it apart. I just basically did a really shitty quick review of it, and so I dug it out of my cupboard of welcome phones and had a look at it and went, this would be kind of interesting to look back on. So if you want to see that, let me know and I can do it after this video, because what we're taking a look at is this fella. He's not too impressive. I did find this e-waste, and unfortunately it suffered some water damage, so the screen's a little bit iffy, so that may bother some people through this review because the LCD has white blobs and stuff like that. Bear with me for the moment. So this is the Droid Swivel. It just looks like a standard generic Android phone. It doesn't have anything too spectacular going on with it. So you've got your earpiece at the top, you've got a light sensor just in there, as well as a notification LED, the 4.7-inch screen, capacitive buttons down there. On the side of the all plastic body is not a whole lot going on there. Micro USB port, hole for a microphone, and headphone jack down the bottom there. Other side features the volume rocker as well as the power button. And at the top, there's not a whole lot going on there except for the Flippy Camera area, which if we go to the back, there's the back of the thing. TORQUE Droid Swivel. It has a fake leather back to it, kind of reminding me of the LG G4 and the Samsung Note 3 with that sort of fake leather stitched back sort of thing. And we've got the single 8-megapixel camera on this and the LED flash, which of course can be flipped either way. But the weird thing is though, is the earpiece is on this same module. So if you were to get a phone call with this and you've just been taking selfies and you go to pick up the phone, well, you're not going to be able to quite hear what's going on because the earpiece is over this side. I might put a SIM card in it just to test to see what does happen, but I don't think it'll work. You probably have to manually flip that back, which only takes a second to just flip it back into place, but just might be a minor inconvenience to some people out there. When I first got this phone, I was looking at it going, how do I get the back off? So I started prying at the top going, nope, that's not it. Started prying down the bottom, nope, that's not it either. It just slides off. We're in. There we have a TORQUE battery, the BTM93, which is 1700 milliamp hours, and it's slightly swollen, ever so slightly. So that's why I'd want to get this review done so I can use the original battery, but I'm pretty sure that I could just grab the good old BL5C and slap that in there. Would that fit? It probably would. That'd be fine, I think. So if this one does die, I can use a Nokia battery or something equivalent. It hasn't been taken apart, I don't think. No, it hasn't been taken apart. And we have 2 mini SIM slots as well as a micro SD card slot just there. Speaker, which just looks like the usual speaker there, nothing too spectacular. That's really it in this thing, to be fairly honest. But for the price that they were asking for this, and for 2015 when 3G was still around, if you just needed a basic budget phone, I mean, this would do it. Before I put my micro SD card in, we have to boot the battery out because we have rechargeable lithium-ion battery used specified charger only, must be disposed of properly, may explode if damaged, or disposed of in fire, do not short circuit. Bit of a long warning list there. Made by TORQUE, and yeah, it's just on its way to becoming a spicy pillow. Will my 64GB micro SD card work in this? Probably not, but I'm gonna try it anyways. You never know. What's the worst that can happen? The phone spontaneously combusts. I've put my Telstra SIM card in there just in case, and I can go ahead and put the battery back in somehow, and then slide the back cover on. So how much torque does the TORQUE Droid Swivel have? Not a whole lot, because you already know the specs. But before I power it on though, I have to warn you all that the boot sound that this makes is one that I've never heard of before, and one that you folks may have never heard of before, unless you've heard of this brand before. And if you want the boot sound, it's in the description below in the system files. And that's what we're putting up with. It's so goofy, but wait. yeah, feel free to go through the system files and you'll find the MP3 of that. Use it to wake you up in the mornings or something, whatever works. And there we go, we've booted up, and that's about as good as I'm going to be able to get for the LCD, because this unfortunately has water in between the layers of the LCD, thus the backlight is pretty much dimmed out like this. You got the wallpaper there, which is got the two hands, you know, pretty cool. Torque branding there. Got 3G, which is good. And the default apps on this is pretty much stock. There's no bloatware or anything. It's just Android 4.4 thrown onto this. Touching and holding on the main screen brings up the options for wallpapers, widgets, and settings. So wallpapers has just that there, so if you want to steal that and use it on your own phone, feel free. And we've got the usual live wallpapers there as well. Widgets doesn't have too much, and settings just takes you straight to settings. But man, using Android 4 again, what a blast. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, location, AirPlay mode, data connection, data usage, audio profiles, brightness, which, yeah, if I, oh, wait. There you go. It's now slightly brighter. I'm sorry, this is as good as the LCD is going to get. Auto rotation and car screen in there. So yeah, not too much. All looking fairly basic. So with the Flippy camera, if you do this while the phone's on, it will go straight into the camera, which has a little tutorial of how that all works, but we'll come back to that, because you can just flip that back into place and use it how you want to use it. The performance on this is nothing too special, of course, with the specifications. It's a budget phone. I'm not going to knock it for being as cheap as it is. What it does perfectly fine for what it offered back in 2015 for the price especially. Let's go straight to settings. My Telstra SIM has come up, so let me just give it a call, just to see if I was to have the earpiece like this, will I actually be able to hear anything? What's the default ringtone on Android 4? I forgot. I wasn't expecting that, but alright. I can barely hear through the earpiece. You have to flip it around to be able to properly hear it. However, if I have the phone like this, I can just talk like that, and it's perfectly fine. That'll work. So you can answer your phone backwards. So that's something. But call quality is nothing really too much to talk about. It's 3G, it works. But I just wanted to see how the earpiece would be, and I found my answer. So yeah, you're definitely going to have to click that back into place if you do get a phone call. And also, you're going to see fingerprints on the screen during this review. I'm going to have to keep cleaning them off all the time, I'm sorry. I was on the fence if I wanted to review this, but I thought, look, the LCD is good enough. It's not cracked or anything, it just looks terrible. So go to Wi-Fi, connect to my network, which I've renamed to Boring Wi-Fi, because I now have new internet, because Telstra can kiss my ass. I got a new modem recently and I've got gigabit and I'm happy. Connected to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage, more, which is just mobile networks. We already know that it's 3G, don't have to do anything there. Audio profiles, we have Best Audio. So of course it's MediaTek, but I don't think it's MT6580. I think it's the 852, which is the same one that's in the TIMMY. Yeah, the 6582. I actually really do want to review this, so I might just review it without anyone saying, you should review it, SMOOREZ, because I don't remember anything about that phone from the review that I did 6 years ago. In display, not a whole lot we can do here because it's just very basic. Storage says available 3 gigabytes, but supposedly it's 8 gigabytes we've got, and it detected my 64 gig microSD card, which is good. Battery is at 92%. I'll put battery percentage on so we can watch the battery percentage, but I'm not expecting this battery to hold up because of the slight swelling that's going on with it. Let's have a look at the applications that are on this. Curious to see if there's anything we might be able to open up in QuickShortcutMaker. We've got App Guide plugin, but do we have anything else? MediaTek stuff? There might be a factory test here. Firmware upgrade, that's usual. I won't log into a Gmail on this because I don't even think Google Play services will work on Android 4 anymore. There's a couple of test activities in here. Movie Studio is one thing that's on this, which I'm not too sure if that's actually stock or not. Otherwise, just scrolling through, go to System OTA there. Shell, System UI, KitKat, System Update, Voice Unlock. I haven't done Voice Unlock in a while, we should do that. And the Chinese application there, which I don't know what it says, but it's probably factory test, most likely. Honestly, I don't think Torque's a dodgy company. There's nothing here that says that they're doing anything dodgy with their stuff. It's just a cheapo phone with budget specs. But since I haven't used any other Torque devices, I personally don't know how they would be, but if you've used a Torque device, feel free to let me know. Security, we can do the Voice Unlock, which I haven't done a Voice Unlock in a long time. Speak a command with 2 to 6 syllables, then repeat 3 to 6 times. Okay, what do we want to use for Voice Unlock? Record. Preparing. Berber dang, berber dang, berber dang. 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 Berber dang? I was listening to Mudvayne earlier. I can't help it. So if we do pin, I can unlock my phone by doing, wait for it, this is the most exciting part of the review. I wonder what the wake up commands are. We'll go back to them actually. Brr dang. That's so silly, but alright, cool. One more time. Brr dang. See, if you use a slightly different voice, it doesn't work. Brr dang. Now you've got to use the more brr dang. Yeah, there you go. So if I do voice unlock and do wake up command, okay, so it just launches stuff after you've done a voice unlock, like phone messages and camera. That's fair. I'll put it back to slide for the time being, so that I don't have to say brr dang every time I want to unlock the phone. As I said, not going to log into any accounts. I'll just sideload everything that I have on my micro SD card onto this, which should be fine. And let's go to about phone, system updates, which I don't think we'll have any updates on this, to be fairly honest yet. That's completely up to date. I don't even think this would have received a security patch from them, to be fairly honest. I think what you would have got out of the box, which this is what the box looked like, by the way. I only found one picture on Google for the box, and this is the little screen protector thing that would have been on the phone when you pulled it out of the box, which it does say 4.7-inch quad HD there. That Q isn't lowercase, so a little bit misleading there. Otherwise, it tells you everything that you need to see there, except for the one next to the 1 gig of RAM that the flash is covering, but that would probably be the storage? Probably the storage. It's the Droids Swivel with Android 4.4.2, so if we launch KitKat, we can go wee, and there is KitKat. And there's the Easter egg. There they all are, which you can just have fun with this, and you can see the damage to the LCD. From what I can see, if I was to go by this corner here, the display is nothing really too special anyways. It's low resolution, it doesn't look too bright, but it is an IPS display that they've put onto this, and honestly, it's acceptable. It'll do. Kernel version, build number, and custom built version, nothing too much to really go off there. That's pretty much it within settings. There's not a whole lot going on with this. So I'll just quickly breeze through the default applications. I'll launch the browser, we'll do the YouTube test in the browser, and then everything else will just sort of work it out as we go along. So here we go, browser, which you can see the blobs. It's terrible, I'm sorry. TORQUE DROIDZ. Got to do the droids part. There was also another droids device that they made, which was a phablet. Honestly, browsing on this seems pretty snappy. I mean, compared to a welcome device, it's reasonable. It'll do. For the specs we've got in this thing, it's not too bad. Why is everything restricted? Why can't you tell me anything? Why is it all like it's redacted? Okay, well, this is unhelpful. The Droids Pivot, that's the tablet version of it. And yeah, that was published December 3rd, 2014. So they were on show late 2014, but that's where I got the specs from this website. And I've got security warnings popping up, which isn't too helpful. I completely forgot that there might be these warnings. So let me just go straight to YouTube then. Let me quickly try Costa Rica, even though we're not going to be able to see too much. I just want to get a good idea of the performance in this. I won't be able to run Geekbench in this either because it's running a pretty low version of Android. We'll just see how this works. I'm watching the battery life too. I'm quite aware that it's draining reasonably fast. It's been 10 minutes and it's already dropped 10%. Just wait. Oh, we've got an ad first. That's okay. Ad break, everyone. Go get a KitKat. The quality of this is in 360p, which is more than enough. And once again, this is running in the browser. It's probably not going to look the best. Can you even see what's going on? You can see this. Hey, it's smooth. It's 360p. Well, at least it's smooth. That's a good thing. From that, browsing in YouTube is fine on this for a cheapy phone. I also think that it helps that the version of Android that's on this is not bloated or anything. There's no hidden processes in the background that's stuffing around with the performance. It's just working as it's intended to. Calculator looks like a calculator. It's not rad. We're not up to that yet. Calendar looks like a calendar, and camera looks like a camera. So let's finally talk about the camera on this thing. It has focus. The shots on this do come back as 8 megapixels, but as you'll see in the camera test, the quality of the camera is a pretty cheap 8 megapixel camera. They couldn't put anything too fancy in this. It does the job as an 8 megapixel camera. The options for the camera is pretty much what we would see on a welcome device. There's not a whole lot going on here. You can do normal mode, beauty mode, panorama. You can have HDR if you wanted to. You can have flash if you wanted to. And then if you go to settings, you can have some options there. Not a whole lot though. Then you've got voice capture, face detection, HDR, the picture size 8 megapixels, and video. I had EIS on, and the video quality was also set to fine quality, which we'll talk about video quality after the camera test. Sure enough, if I just swivel the camera around, there I am. That's it. And just Simple. One thing I did during the camera test is, once I press record, can I flip this without it having to stop? Because I thought maybe the sensor in there would be like, oh no, it's been flipped, stop the recording. But sure enough, you can flip it any way you want while you're recording a video. Let me show you the quality of the LED in this. This is the only way that I know how to put the LED on without using an application. So I'll just record video, and there's the LED flash in there. It is a bit lacking, but it did actually help during the night shots. It is fine for what it does. While you can't really see it here though, you can see through the plastic where the LED is. Because when I was outside doing the night shots, this was pretty much all lit up from the LED, which, whoop, there it is. So that's pretty cool. I honestly do like the little flippy thing. It's not a trendsetter. It was only on a handful of phones, and then it came back as a motorized concept, and well, here I am in 2024 looking back at it. Was the flippy camera thing anything special? I think it had potential on smartphones, but I can see the market probably wasn't the best for it. On older phones, this was a great feature, but on smartphones it's kind of a different market, so it's at least something. But I'll go ahead and splice the photos and videos that I did take with the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL and see what you think of them, and we'll come back and have a quick discussion about them, and then we'll continue on and continue testing this thing out. Well, it's getting slightly warm and the battery life is dropping pretty fast. Yeah, we'll be back. This is testing the, I've already forgotten the name of it, the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL, was that the name of it? And this is what the video looks like. I'm the only camera on this. How does it look? Can I focus? No, I cannot. It's very, very basic, but we'll just quickly do the standard camera test so you can all see the quality of it. Okay, we're getting a good idea of what's going on. We won't be here for too long, that's okay. Brick wall, these two Muppets down there, looking good. More lemons, more lemons. Look at the sky, it's raining, kind of, it's almost raining. I can't see the screen on this thing at all, but there's the 4x digital zoom, and that's pretty much it with that. And then if I was to grab the camera and swap it to me, there it is. I don't have to do anything else. So now, this is with EIS on. Does it have jelly movement? I think it does, slightly. It looks like it's 640 by 480 to be fairly honest. It could be 720p, but you know, it's just good that you can go me, wall, me, wall, me, Ripley, hi. And then, you know, you can just go back to me and go, oh look, see I'm recording Ripley. Go back, Ripley, destroying the house. Stop destroying the house, you muppet. There's carpet up there to scratch, not there. Thank you. Yes, that's the way. That's the way. Good stuff. You big loaf. And then back to me, like that. I think I might have got fingerprints on the camera. I'm sorry. There we go. Is that better? No. And then back to Ripley. And then back to me. And then back to Ripley. And then back to me. Back to Ripley. Back to me. It's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. For about 3 minutes, and then that's pretty much it. At least you're getting a good idea of what the camera quality is like on this $10 phone. Good luck trying to find one of these listed somewhere cheap. Alright, it's nighttime with the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL, and this is what it looks like. And I don't know if it's the screen or the LED is just terrible, but there's just all the crap on the screen that I can see. But, I mean, it works outside though. Why does the video look smoother outside at nighttime than it does at normal daytime? That's a bit strange. Also, I can see the LED through the plastic, which I've probably already shown you all. Otherwise, I know this video is now 1080p, which is surprising. It was 15 FPS during the daytime, so we'll have to see what it is during the nighttime. You get a good idea of what's going on, I think, and then you get to see this idiot walking around at nighttime. Hello, hi, how you going? And then back to lemons, and then back to this idiot. Oh, hello, how you doing? Can you see quality? No? There you go. That's the camera test for this. I need to fix the screen on this because it's just absolutely garbage. And we're back. That was the photos and videos for the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL. And what do you think of them for a cheapo budget device? They're acceptable. It's not the most highest quality 8 megapixel camera on the planet, but it does the job. Like, here's the frogos here, looks pretty good. And the flowers here as well, that looks pretty good. Autofocus really didn't kick in. I had to manual focus on almost every single picture. And HDR does work, but you can't move the phone at all during HDR, and if you do, it results in, well, the images being all ghosted. But just a normal image itself, it looks pretty good, and beauty mode also looked a little something like this, which, I guess, sure, if you call that beauty mode. But you can absolutely record a video and just flip it back and forward to your heart's content. But what I want to know is what's inside of this thing, because I just want to see the board inside of this, just curious to see what they've done in this. That's all of camera. I'm pretty sure you all get a point of the camera on this thing, and we'll continue on because we don't have much left on this. I will run GTA 3 on this real quickly. I'm gonna have to sideload it on, but that's okay. Clock, contacts, downloads, email, Facebook, file manager, FM radio. Should we just FM radio? Yes, okay. Does the headphone jack work though? Yes, it does. All right, let's go to 101.9 and see what's on Australian radio on a Wednesday night. Oh, I just closed it. Oops. Also, why does the FM radio icon look like it's from BioShock? I don't know why, it just does. Viva la vida! Do we have the satanic radio station? Is it here? No, we have double clef. And she dances like she's never danced before. FM radio is pretty good. And the speaker was pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie, Mr. Speedy Talk, you're doing some things good. I'm getting a good idea of the speaker quality, so we're almost at the speaker test, but I just want to open a movie studio first. I don't remember this being on stock Android. Yeah, you could definitely do some video editing on this if you wanted to. I think it'd be quite painful to edit on a phone, to be fairly honest, but let's go to music, and we'll open up BFG Division. Best loudness is on too. But that's okay. Loud as I can go. Ah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty acceptable. It's loud. And it doesn't lose too much quality. That's actually better than I expected. Let's try the terrible song that I made years ago and I'll probably never do anything with, because it just has a bit of bass in there, and we'll get to hear that bass. Yeah, there we go. That's clear. Not bad. Not bad at all. Have I been calling it best loudness? And it's best Auden, isn't it? It's best Auden. I've been calling it best loudness. Wow, I haven't said best Auden in a while. I will give TORQUE some credit. That speaker wasn't actually too bad. So let's move on, because I don't think we've got too much left. We don't. It's just search, settings, sim toolkit, sound recorder. What does that look like on Android 4? The usual one. System update from TORQUE themselves. The current version. The stable version. Now you have the latest version, because you're definitely not going to get any updates with this. 2014 it is, so 10 years old. Not going to happen. There's the OTA settings though, says the IMEI just there. If you want to look that up and see if it does correspond with this, I don't think it would be anything else. I think it would correspond with a TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL, which is such a mouthful of a name to say. TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL. Try saying that 10 times fast. That's all the default stuff. So what I'm going to do is install my stuff onto this, and we'll quickly check the specs, do some gaming, open up QuickShortcutMaker, and then tear this down. That's pretty much all this thing will have to offer. I'll be back in a moment with 70% battery life. Watch it drain. Apps have all been installed, so I think I'll start with GTA 3 first, just to get a good idea of the performance of gaming on this. I should try Vice City, maybe for the next one. I haven't tried Vice City on a phone before. Also, can I not go next? Oh, there we go. Alright, cool. I'll put everything up to maximum. Why not? Let's just have a quick game of this. Not that you can see too much on the LCD. But there it is. Wow, you can't even see it. Sketchy.
I know a place on the edge of the red light district where we can lay low, but my hands are all messed up, so you better drive, brother.
Once again, I gotta praise that speaker. It's not bad. GTA 3 is smooth. It's smooth. While you can't really sort of see it. Oh. Oops, sorry. Yeah, that's smooth. Too bad for the LCD. Can't really see too much, but yeah, it's running great. Like at some points it's almost hitting 60 FPS. But yeah, look, it's smooth. It's perfect. It's great. Yeah, definitely should test Vice City on some of these phones. Because it'd be just really interesting because of all the bright, vibrant colors and all that sort of stuff. So that's the gaming test on this. What are we at now? 63%. You're alright, buddy. You're not doing too bad. Let's open device info hardware and check the specs. It is the 6582 that's in this. It's definitely the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL, and it's using DDR2. Wow, not DDR3. MT6580 was DDR3. It seems like the 6582 is better than the 6580. Then again, the 6580 is somewhat capable. It just depends what phone it's in. The serial number is 0123456789ABCDF, but that's okay. Screen is, yeah, 960 by 540. And if I do multi-touch, probably 5-point multi-touch. Memory, 1 gig of LP DDR2. Camera is 8 megapixels, and battery profile is 1000 milliamp hours. Thermal is 45 degrees on the CPU, which isn't too bad. And the sensors, we do have accelerometer, light, and proximity. The other application I'll just open real quickly, just sort of to see if there's anything that might be sticking out like a sore thumb. It's not sore. No, it's all same here. The internal memory does say only 3 gigabytes. It is actually 8 gigabytes that's in this. 1 gig of RAM. The screen just there. Battery, what does it say? It doesn't say the battery there, but we know it's 1700 milliamp hours. Thermal and accelerometer. Proximity and light don't seem to do anything, but they definitely do work. So they're just not appearing there. Cameras, 8 megapixels. That's all correct. Let's open up QuickShortcutMaker, and I think we're done with this. And I could tear it down and see the guts of this thing. Let me just scroll. Oh, cheeky Android. Did I miss him? In system apps. I'm sorry if I missed you, buddy. EMSIMME lock. Bit of a mouthful. Oh, okay, I broke it. Engineer mode is probably going to be just the usual MediaTek engineer mode. Yep, that's correct. Firmware upgrade, which is just Google stuff, but I'll open it just to see. Oh, yep, that's it. Hardware test, which is, once again, MediaTek. Nothing to see here. Redstone system OTA. That's probably the Talk or Hello World. Hello. MediaTek factory mode is the Chinese app, which looks a little something like that, which I don't need to test anything because I've pretty much tested everything. That's everything that the TORQUE DROIDZ SWIVEL has to offer on Android 4.4.2. I can't do a lot with it nowadays because it's severely outdated. Getting a good idea of this back in 2015, as I've already mentioned during the review, this whole Flippy Camera thing didn't really start a trend. It was more of a little fad that was there. On older phones, as I said, it does make a lot more sense for the whole Flippy camera. For smartphones, not so much, because you could have just put an 8 megapixel camera there and stuck an 8 megapixel one there and called it a day. But this is a budget phone, and what it does reasonably well. For the asking price of this thing, you really can't complain, to be fairly honest, and the fact that you get a gimmick with this, I guess, is pretty cool. If it didn't have this gimmick, it would just be another generic Android phone that doesn't offer a whole lot. But it'd be interesting to see if the TIMMY M9 is any better than this, and I can say with the TIMMY, Such a name, Timmy. This is a metal frame. This is all plastic. This was only $33 US or $45 Australian for what I paid for it. It'll be interesting to compare the two when I get to reviewing this. That's if you all want to see that. I'm pretty sure you all will want to see it just for the fun of it, because I wouldn't mind remaking some of my older, terrible videos. We have welcome devices in 2024 that still have the MT6580 in them. For 2015, having the MT6582 in this, being a quad core, it's decent performance for back then, but now it's useless. Let's hear the... boot sound. Go ahead and help yourself to the system files. I also like the back just sliding off like that, because I thought it was clipped down into place, but no, it's just like that. So we're going to need to remove a whole bunch of screws to get inside of this thing, but it'll be worth it. As I showed at the start of the video, there's only 2 videos that have been done on this. So this is the first teardown of this phone. I mean, my audience is all over the world, so, you know, some folks in the US might be like, hey, I've never heard of this brand before. But then some folks over, you know, closer to the Philippines might be like, hey, I have heard of this phone before. I've seen it on the market. This phone here in Australia as well is another thing. Why it was dumped at eWaste is also another story for another Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, just another Tuesday. Yeah, I was quite surprised when I seen this at eWaste, because I was like, oh, it's just a generic Android phone. And then I noticed that it had the little swivelly bit. And I thought, oh, Flippy. Yeah, I thought straight away of the TIMMY M9. I should do a video on both of them. With all the screws removed, I can pretty much just pop, 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 and we're in. That's it. So we might see the water damage that's gone on here. Oh, you can see all the dust build up. Oh, we might have to refurbish you, pal. And also, I think I can take the screen straight out of... Oh no, the screen's held down with some little elastic clips just there. And there's definitely some sensors as well. Definitely some sensors. But yeah, there's the little swivelly bit there, which we can pop out. Oh, the speaker's on the back. There he is there. Maybe the reason why it was louder and clearer was because it's not encased in sort of that little plastic housing. It's just stuck onto the back of the phone like that. That's why it's a bit louder. But we have a couple of screws to take out. The vibration motor is kind of just chilling here. He's having a good time. There we go. I was ready to rip this board out when I've seen just behind the motherboard, the sensors for the front are soldered down into place. So I don't really want to have to take them off. On the back of the board is looking fairly generic. There is the slight metal for the LCD on the back here. And as for the shielding, I'm not going to take it off, but it does say 6582, 8 gig there, 1 gig GSM, all that good stuff there. So I don't need to take the shielding off. I was going to try and take the LCD off, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to remove the glass first to get to it. It's probably not worth doing all of that. Let's just see the Flippy and call this one a video, I think. Now I have a slight problem. How do I pull the Flippy out? I have figured out how it comes apart. Simple. No. Ignore that. Ignore that. We're in. You just pull that little metal bit back, and that's it. Now, how do we get inside of this thing? I can also see a little magnet that this would, you know, boop onto when you're flipping it around, and that's how that works. But how do I get inside of this thing? Okay, that was easy. Never mind. I was a bit worried on how I'd get that off, but no, that's it. So we've got a metal piece just there, earpiece on the back, LED flash, which is actually quite a big LED flash considering the thing that was on the Welcome S26 Ultra Plus thing that was the size of an ant's dick. This is so much more bigger. That's what she said, I guess. And there is a little sensor just there. And if I just pop this little piece of plastic off, we can see that's kind of a bit weird, but we've got the camera, which is actually a decent sized camera, on a flex ribbon, to a flex ribbon that has stuff on the flex ribbon that goes to the long flex ribbon. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I know what's going on. And then at the back of the camera is just the earpiece, just settled in there like so. Well, it is definitely interesting to see what is inside of this, and it definitely wasn't what I was expecting. We'll have to see what the TIMMY has inside of it, if I can pull that apart. And now I just slidey back on there. Alright, and then all you gotta do is kind of just finagle this back into place, and that's it, done. With the little mechanism back into place. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Hang on, I think I may have installed it the wrong way around. No, I think it's fine. I think that's fine. Yay, it still works. Yeah, I'd have to take the glass off and stuff to get to the LCD, but I'll leave it. I think I've done more than enough. Sound's not working because there's no speaker connected, but I think it works. I don't think I destroyed it. Probably would have been better to test it with the back on. Let's try this now and see if it works. Yep, still works. I don't need to display full specs because I've shown it all at the start anyways, but we want to just see if Flippy still works. And the touch as well. Touch works, Flippy works. 58% battery life we're down to. Yeah, that's not going to last too much longer. And that is the TORQUE DROIDZ Swivel back together and working as it should, minus the LCD being a bit problematic. I've taken a look at a TORQUE product, and honestly, I'm impressed for what this had to offer. This phone honestly wasn't complete garbage. If it was being sold today in 2024 as being, you know, something incredible, then yeah, I can see it being pretty unusable. But for 2015, honestly, I could see some people using this as a budget device. Good stuff, TORQUE. I don't know what your other products are like. As I've said a couple of times in the video, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below if you've used a TORQUE device. Did it have enough torque? Probably the best joke I can make with this, to do whatever you needed it to do. Because for me, it did everything it needed to do in this review. It sucks that it's on a now unsupported version of Android, but not much I can do. I've had a look at this thing. I think it's pretty good. For the $10 that I paid for it anyways. But I definitely want to have a look at Timmy, because this was the first funny phone name that was on the channel, and I don't think a lot of people have watched those older videos. Please don't, they're terrible. So I think a modernized review looking at Timmy would be really cool. So stay tuned for that, but you've made it to the end of this video. It's still in frame. Boop. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know this video might be a bit rushed and stuff. It wasn't in my schedule or anything. I just had a small bit of time to put this out while I'm working on some other things. The same with the Timmy, I'll be able to fit that in somewhere. But if you've made it to the end of the video without using the timestamps, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit back and watch this idiot review a cheapo phone. But if you had to use the timestamps, then that's completely fine. That's why they're there, and hopefully this video doesn't go over 40 minutes, because it shouldn't have to. And also, I'm still wondering what I should call this. Is it a cheapo phone review or Attack of the Clones? Because is it a clone of the Oppo N1? Even though the Oppo N1 looks quite different from this, it might be worth putting it as a clone maybe. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll work it out from there. Thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you all. As always, take care, stay safe, be good people, and I'll see you all in the next one, which will probably be the Timmy actually. I'll probably get that done before I get the next big thing done, and we can laugh at Timmy for 40 minutes or so. Because as I said, I never pulled it apart in the original review. Stupid S'MOOREZ was stupid back then. I'm still stupid, but you know, it'd be just good to just do a proper in-depth look at this thing. Alright everyone, keep being awesome, take care of yourself, and I'll see you all very, very soon. That was a dramatic wave.
If you like this content, feel free to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.